while since I've used StreamYard.
Um,
I think we're live. Let's see for sure. Yes, we are live. Hello. Oh, I see one person is watching. Hello, one person. Or to anyone who's watching the replay.
So basically this whole day was reading this book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read the whole book in one day. And what I did was I went downtown and I cafe hopped to like different places I've never been to. I went to bookstores that had cafes inside. I just went on TikTok and then I looked at recommendations for like cafes to read in. And then I just went to like several different ones. I think I went to like 4. And at one point I sat on a park bench and was reading in the cold. And that was like whatever. And then I finished the book like throughout the whole day through cafe hopping, and I drank a lot of coffee. But yeah.
How cold is it where you are?
I need to convert into Fahrenheit. 1 second.
I might roughly know if you tell me in Celsius, but
it's 40.
40 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, 40 Fahrenheit.
Right, Celsius would be like hot as hell. Yeah.
It would be so hot. I'd be like dying.
40. Wow, y'all are already getting winter. Well, I mean, it's November. I mean, we all should be getting wintry weather.
What's your weather like?
It's very temperate right now. Like we did get a little cold front like a week or 2 ago, and it's really a cool front, not a cold front, where the temps were like in the 60s, and that was really nice. And then, so now we're back to it's 75.
That's hot.
It's warm. It's not too bad. Once you get into the 80s, then it's hot.
That's lovely. Do you like it, or are you like, no, I don't like this?
I wish it was colder for sure. Like, yeah, it's okay. But I was just thinking in my mind, you were saying it was cold, and I feel like that like adds to the vibe because this takes place during the winter. So like that's perfect that it's chilly where you are.
That scene where it was like snowing, and then they're like, "Oh shit, it's not snow, it's ash."
Isn't that crazy?
I was like, "What?"
Oh my goodness! Ooh, we have 5 people watching. Hello. Say hello in the comments. I have this banner.
How do you do fun things like that? Every time I post, I never know how to do it.
That's a banner that I guess I've had for a long time, and it was just hidden in banners. But let's see.
I don't even know how to change it. Like, how do I? Would it be in settings?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't access settings during lives, as far as I can tell. But as you can, like right before you go live, you can go into settings and then, yeah. But so yeah, this was our pick for this month. I had a couple of reasons for pitching this to Lisa as our monthly pick. First of all, because last October, November, we read After Midnight, which is the first book in this Cabot duet. Both of these books were rereads for me. I'd read both of these once before. And also I'll take the opportunity to show the step backs because they're really pretty. That's for book 1. And then this is the step back for book 2. Really, really pretty. And so I love this duet. I need to read more from Teresa Medeiros. And it's just like a good historical paranormal romance. So I thought that we would finish out the duet with this one this year. So if you guys just want to give us your thoughts in the comments, if you read the book, if you just want to tell us like your star rating, and then we'll do the same right now. Thanks for joining the chat. Yeah, it's okay if you didn't read the book. It's all good. Because we always end up talking about things other than the book. We always talk about just like historical romance in general, all the things. So Lisa, what star rating did you give this one?
I think I'm gonna lean towards a 3 out of 5. And the reason why I'm leaning towards a 3 out of 5 is just that the first one was just pure perfection. I feel like I really enjoyed that one. The writing was good and, like, the characters and chemistry was great. This one, because it's been so long since I read the first one, I kinda didn't really remember the characters, and I didn't know, like, what happened to our main characters, and I forgot about that kinda chemistry that they had in the first book when they mentioned it a little bit, and then, like, I felt like the pacing of this book was kind of weird. It threw me off towards, like, when they were getting together. It felt like he had an automatic, like, switch that he just flipped on, and he just went like, "Okay, yeah, you know what? Forget about, like, my vampire, like, second nature
Right.
kinda thing. We're just gonna
Yeah.
go bang it out," you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, what?" So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So this is my second time reading this one. Um, and my feelings have kind of flipped on these two books because the
Ooh.
first time that I read this duet, I gave both books 5 stars, both the first time and the reread. However, the first time I remember actually loving this one more the first
Mhm.
time. Then upon reread, I loved this one more. So I think that upon reread, I'm seeing what you saw, the issues
Yes.
that you had. I would still give this like a 4.5 ish
Yes.
star rating. Um, but for some reason, the first time that I read it, I don't know, something about it. I guess I was just more like emotionally invested. Maybe it was because the first time I read it relatively like close to the first one. So I was like in the mindset of the series and of everything that was going on. But like, yeah, the first time that I read it, it ended up being like my top favorite historical that I had read that year. Like, I was absolutely obsessed with this book, and I still really enjoy it for what it is. But I also see now like the flaws that you have with it too.
Yeah.
So I just think
Wait,
it's interesting. Sometimes rereads are weird like that.
yeah.
you
Wait,
know?
hold on. When did you read the first time for the first book? With me, or were you like
No,
okay, this
that
was way before. Okay,
I
gotcha.
read this the first time because this was actually the book club pick for Jen and Crystal's Rake Appreciation Society.
Oh,
Like
okay.
back in like I want to say 2021. It's been a few years for sure. Um, and so I went into this not expecting much actually because I was like, oh, I don't know, historical romance. There may or may not be a vampire. Like, I don't know how this is going to go. I had never read Teresa Medeiros before, hadn't really heard of her at the time. So I was like, oh, I wasn't really sure, but I ended up loving it. And so then because of that, I looked it up and saw that there was a sequel. And then I picked this one up. Um, so yeah, that explains why I read them in the first place. But
Alright,
mhm.
gotcha.
But
Yeah.
yeah, basically, to give you guys a quick little synopsis of what we have going on in this duet. So, in I feel like I can't really give a synopsis of book two without like spoiling a part of book one. So I'm just going to talk about book one for a second. This one is about Caroline and Adrian. Caroline has two sisters. They're all down on their luck financially. They definitely need one of the sisters to marry someone of money, of nobility to survive. And so is it Vivian or Portia? I can't remember I think it's Vivian. Vivian is the one that starts courting Adrian, who is this Viscount who is rumored to be a vampire. And so Caroline is like, no, girl, please don't do this. Like, what? She doesn't even know if she believes in vampires, but she's like, he doesn't seem right. Meanwhile, Adrian and Caroline start falling for each other. And so this is their romance. But we also get to see the romance between Vivian and Larkin, who is a detective for like Scotland Yard. So you kind of get a little bit of two romances in one in this. And so kind of a plot twist in this is really like the hero of this book, like finding out like who the vampire is. So like that's why I don't even really want to say like who the hero is. But I will say that this is Portia's romance. So her other sister, the third sister. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, what's
Oh my
up?
gosh, it's Charles.
Yes, Charles.
It's been so long.
Gosh, Charles, I haven't talked to you in so long. It's been like years, I feel like.
Oh, for me, 100% it's been
Yeah,
years.
like, absolutely.
I've been off BookTube for a long time now, so yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay,
right.
wait, hold on. What's your rating for this second oh, wait, you said 4.5 out of 5.
I would say, yeah, I think it's still a 5-star because of the nostalgia of what I felt the first time that
Yes.
I read it.
What
But
were your issues that you had?
the issues this time that I
Yeah.
had, really what you said, this time I didn't quite feel as emotionally invested in their romance. I didn't feel like the first time that I read this, I thought that this was like a truly epic, like sweeping romance. I was like
Yes.
so invested. And this time around, I didn't get as much of that feeling. And I also like, yeah, like what you said, like maybe it was like pacing.
Mm.
Yeah. But I still really enjoyed it for what it was. Something I really do love about this book, I feel like this book in this series is perfect if you are a fan of shows like Buffy and Angel, because the villain in this book reminds me so much of both Drusilla and Darla. If you've watched those shows, like totally gives me vibes of those characters. So I just wanted to point that out. Hey Charles, med school. Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, shit, he's in med school? Oh my god, the guy's gonna become a doctor?
Wow. We're good.
Holy,
I think we're both really busy right
what a
now.
big drop.
I know.
Other things that I don't know if I liked about this book was that Portia was like, I don't know, she was going on about how she was using the years that she and the main the hero separated, using those years to train to become a vampire hunter and to be like well equipped with like vampires and things like that. But I felt like the plans that she was like forming were just so loosey goosey and just didn't really make sense. Plus, she never really got any like time to show off her skills. Like,
That's true. That's
right?
very
She was
true.
used as
Yes.
bait at
Yes.
one point, and then the villain was like there ready to kill her, and she like had nothing. She had no defense. She had like no idea what she
Yeah.
was doing,
Right.
and she was about to die. And our hero had to step in and save her last minute. And then what else? What else I didn't really jive with? No, I think that's for now. I forget the rest of the things I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was like that was one point where I was just like, huh. And then I
Yeah.
guess like towards the end, there was like a critical point in this book where someone was in danger and she still didn't believe in his love, right? Because like he would say these really mean things that were as this like this farce to the villain to
Right.
get the villain to like believe him so that she can let the person in danger go. And then he would be like pretending that he didn't love her and
Mhm.
is siding with the villain. And then she would be like so hurt by it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, like the man has been with you for like a whole
I
entire
I
week.
actually interpreted that as like she was kind of acting too. Like, yes, in her inner monologue, she was kind of, but
Yeah.
I feel like I interpreted it as she was more just freaking out about like Eloisa
Yeah.
and saving her. And then like, because right before that scene, she literally like said to somebody, I think loving someone is being able to let them go. And that's what Julian did
Yeah.
for her, right? So I think that like deep down she knew that like he still loved and cared for her, but he was also putting on a convincing performance for the villain. And so I don't know. I interpreted not that she was like stupid, but like I don't know, maybe just the situation. I think like as the scene went along, she was starting to be like, "Oh
Oh, yeah.
wait, does he love me?" Because like it kind of went on for a while. Like he had to
Yes.
like really keep going to convince the villain of like his allegiance. And
I
so
also thought the villain was stupid for like believing in this.
yeah,
Like so quickly. Like she was
I
just
just
like, yeah, take the baby.
right.
I
I
don't
just interpret that like he's a really good actor. That's that's the only reason I can think of that like she would have believed him. But
Also, like, what's so good about him that the villainess really wanted him? Like, I know we're supposed to be rooting for the hero, but, like, at this point, like, just kill him off, you know? Like, he betrayed you, he doesn't like you, like, he's not gonna like you, like, I just feel like there would be
yeah,
so many trust issues for the villainess if she were to take him back, because
right.
like, she would never know, because basically all of this entire time during their relationship, the villainess and the hero, they've been making love, but he would always scream Portia's name and say Portia's name. So clearly his heart belongs to someone
For
else.
someone else, yeah.
And then the villainess is like, yeah, like I totally buy this flip of the switch that, you have one time with her and you realize that you don't want her anymore and you want
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think she's just kinda lost her marbles, which is
Yeah.
another reason why she reminds me of those characters from, like, Buffy and Angel, because like, those characters also have just completely lost their shit, and
Uh,
and, so, I
yeah.
feel like that explains most of it. I will say I thought it was interesting that they showed a little bit of humanity with her when she was, like, holding the baby, and
Yeah.
she was like, "I had a child too," and I was like, "Damn," like,
But they wouldn't explore it, and I'm just
no, it
like,
was just kinda like, "I had a child too," and then, Portia's just trying to kind of negotiate with her, but I just thought that that was
yeah,
interesting. I thought she made an interesting villain, especially because, like, I haven't read too many historical romances where, like, a female character poses any real threat
yeah. This
because
was
of,
my
like,
first
women's
one.
roles in this society, like, a woman wouldn't ordinarily be a threat, but because of the situation she was, I thought that was interesting. Um,
Yeah, she clearly lost her marbles because I really don't think, like, feelings were tied to him. I think she just
yeah.
wanted to possess him because she, like, owned his soul. So then she
She
could,
I think
like,
that's really what it is that she doesn't there was, like, a
it was a
whole
controlling
period during
behavior.
that scene where,
Yeah,
like, she was, like, yelling at Portia that, like, love is this, this, and this. Basically, like, it makes you pathetic. It makes
yeah,
you, like, whatever, like, the worst version of yourself. And then Portia's like, "Actually, that's obsession." And
mhm,
which is what she was
kind of,
about the
yeah,
hero. Like, she was obsessed. She wasn't in love with him, you
yeah.
know? And so she was like, "No, actually, love is this." Um, and so, yeah, I think that just further ties into, like, this woman has completely lost it. Like, she is just thinking about how she feels she owns him because she saved him years and years before. Um, so yeah, but
Like, I don't know, there's, like, a lot of support. And then also okay, my other thing was, like, who's the girl, from the first book? What's her name?
Caroline,
Caroline? It was Caroline's baby that was, like, yeah, right?
right?
Okay, so Caroline, she's, like, forgiving Portia. She's just like, "Portia, bring my baby home. Like, I'm so sorry I critiqued your love of your life and blah, 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 but just bring my baby home." And that I'm like, "What?" Like, I felt like there was not enough hysteria at the idea that their baby was gone, like, I expected, like, a bigger reaction of them, like, yelling and
I
freaking
think
out.
the reaction was off page. That was like the vibe that I got because like there was that
I needed
point
more,
where like he like doubled over in pain. And so she was kind of off page because a doctor was taking care of her. And
Yeah,
then Adrian, we see his pain during the scene when they're trying to negotiate
yeah.
with her, but he's also trying not to freak out because he doesn't want to make the situation worse or give the villain like more motivation to harm Eloisa.
But it was
So
just weird. For me, like, I needed more. Like, that scene where she was talking to Portia, being like, "Yeah, this plan gotta work because like, I want my baby." But, like, also at the same time, at this entire time when the villainess took the baby, I'm like, "What guarantee do we have that this baby's not already harmed?" Because if she's bonkers and she lost her marbles,
I
there's
was
really
shocked that
right?
she hadn't already that's the thing is like I was shocked that like and she brings it up during that scene of like, what if I turn her now and we'll always have this cute little baby with
Yeah,
us? I feel like she would have done that already. Like, but at the same time, Julian said she's not going to harm Eloisa when there's still hope in her mind that I could be with her. So that's also interesting to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that like I feel like she would have harmed that. But then she was like, I had a baby too. So maybe a little bit of that was just like her reliving her motherhood
I
with
guess.
Eloisa. So I don't know. I
There
think
wasn't enough about her to make me feel like she was a credible villain. Like, I just felt like she was just crazy on the page.
she just like showed up and there she was.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
showed up, she became obsessive, and then she's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take this baby." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Mhm.
So,
Charles asked, "Is this book spicy?" I mean, there's like
see,
one
one
scene towards
chapter.
the end where they just have a lot of sex and they have a good time, and but
But no, it's not
that's
your
really
spicy.
not Teresa Medeiros. Like, I feel like that's not really like what she focuses on.
No.
Yes, definitely the Buffy comparison. Like there's a lot of moments in this series as a whole that like give me vibes of if y'all have watched either of those shows, like there's a lot of flashback scenes where we see the vampires, like the main vampires' lives back in like the 17 and 1800s. And so that also gave me vibes of these books. So yes, if you loved those shows, I think you would definitely enjoy this series for sure. Um, Lisa, have you read other Teresa Medeiros books?
Yes, I've read a lot. Wait,
Hmm.
hold on. I just wanted to make a comment about the supporting characters. Cuthbert,
Ah,
getting beat
Cubby!
up. He's just, like, so bored. Like, he's, like, so bored that, like, the main hero
People
like,
do
the hero walks
anything.
out of his life. He's like, "Just get me the fuck out of here. I just need to do something." They take him out, and then all of a sudden he re-enters, like, another scene, bruised up and swollen to, like, pretend that, like, he had a rough
So
fight.
Julian beat him up then, is
Yeah.
what I gathered from that, is that he actually
Yeah.
beat him up.
Because he's that bored. He's willing to, like, get beat up just to be a part of something because he was that
Right.
bored about everything.
Yeah, like so
It's
so funny. I really liked his character a lot.
what a good friend. I
I
love good
know, right?
characters.
What a ride or die friend,
Yeah,
man.
like, literally. Literally.
And like that scene where like Julian comes back into his life and like he had like a garlic necklace and like I think holy water or something,
Yeah, he
and
was just, like, nervous.
Julian's like, really? And then he just gets rid of it all and he's like, my friend's back.
There was, like he had, like, a steak, I think,
Yes.
and then he took it away, and then he just threw it back. He's like, "What a waste of, like, 2 pounds that he, like, spent on it," was his thought. Um
Oh man.
I did read a lot of Teresa Medeiros novels. So I read her series called Once Upon a Time series, and it's like fairy
Ooh.
tale based. So Charming the Prince, The Bride, the Beast, The Bride and the Beast, A Kiss to Remember. I really like Breath of Magic, which is like her other Halloween novel, but it's like set in half contemporary, like modern day, and then the other half is like historical because she time travels. And then so yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of like I said, these are the only 2 books that I've read by her. So like I definitely
She also has a series called King Cad Highland, and that's her Highlander series. It's just 2 books, but I found those two to be very dramatic, like literally dramatic, like the
her
family
books can
relationship.
be. I mean, like her writing can be very dramatic for sure. Like
No, like it was like the drama of the family and like the relationships and like the actions that like the words that they were saying and things like that. I was like, what is going on? So it's a very bonkers ride, but like I enjoyed them because it read like I was watching a reality TV show.
I read Yours Until Dawn. You've read this one, right?
Let me double check.
Lisa? This is like the Beauty and the Beastie,
No, I
like
haven't read this one.
the 6 stars. I've heard nothing but good things about this one. I will have to read this one. It's been my
Never
favorite.
mind, I did read it. I read it and I gave it 3.5 stars, and it was
Oh, okay.
for the
But I have
historical.
heard a lot of good ratings of that one because I think one of the book clubs, maybe it was Historical Hellions, picked that one month, and so a lot of our friends have read it and they really, really liked it.
It
Um,
was the historical romance readathon pick.
oh, thank you. That's what
It's in
it
my
was.
notes. It's in my review. That's
So
how
many,
I
so
remembered
many
because I would have never
historical romance things happening. I loved that one last year. Yeah, I need to read that one for sure. I need to branch out. That Breath of Magic one sounds good.
Oh, it's so fun. It's a duet too. I never read the second
She
one yet.
writes she writes a lot of duets, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's easy, I guess, for her.
Oh,
She knows
1996. Yeah, these would be
Yeah,
some good
so her modern in that is not that modern anymore. Like, it's very dated.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But it's fun.
I was thinking when I was rereading this, and I had read a backlist historical romance recently as well. And like,
Mhm.
I just can't help but think, and I had brought this up in another live show, and I can't remember what we were even talking about that we got on the subject, but I just can't help but think that like historical romances that are being written nowadays are so like watered down
Okay.
compared to early 2000s and like late 90s. Because I love reading from like 2000 to like 2010-ish. That era of historical romances to me is like so good.
Yeah.
And like now, it's just not the same. Like, what is going on? You
I
know?
haven't read a historical romance that was published, this year, that recently, so, like, I don't know. Like, it's been a slow ride for me for reading historical romance, so I don't know. And
I've
plus,
read
they're not even, like, publishing as
no,
much.
but that's part of it too. Yeah, I've read two recent releases. One of them, I enjoyed both of them, but
Mhm.
again, it's like I just feel like they were so simplistic compared to books like this, and even books like because we're rereading the Wallflower series right now,
Ooh.
and we just reread Devil in Winter, and like there's so much complexity to those books. You also get glimpses of different POVs, which I think adds a lot to
Yeah.
the story, without taking away from the main romance. Um, so yeah, I just feel like compared to even like books that were being written 10 years ago, there's a huge difference. And I don't know if that has anything to do with Bridgerton. It might. Like, I don't know.
I
I'm
think
not sure.
Yeah, I feel like I don't wait, what do you mean by, like, it's like it has something to do with Bridgerton for watered down?
I'm not even sure what I mean by that, but I just feel like I didn't
Yeah.
start sensing this change until the last year or so. And
Wow.
Bridgerton came out a couple of years ago. So I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I
um,
think it's
you know,
definitely, like, plot heavy now for historical romances, like, it's, very plot driven, and so, like,
I
that
could
gets
see
in the
that.
way of the chemistry, if that
I
makes
could
sense.
see that. Yes.
Yeah, because like,
Yeah.
Lisa Kleypas, she does have the plot, but she always makes sure that there's always time for the 2 characters to, like,
Yes.
get to know each other, hang out, have that build up, have that chemistry really on the pages. But, like, I feel like the newer historical romances that I'm seeing, that I'm reading the plot and I'm, like, listening to an audiobook when I do, it's, like, very, like, just everything but the 2 characters together.
Yeah. I think you might have just nailed it because now that I'm thinking about like these two books that I read recently, even though I did enjoy them, they're just not on the level of these other historicals that I love. I do think that that's part of it is that like both of those books in my mind, like the pitch is like the plot.
Yeah.
And it's like almost the development of the romance almost takes a back seat
Yeah.
to that.
It's
Yeah,
disappointing.
yeah. Um, not as many historical releases that yeah. I know. Like I genuinely can the only release that I can think about that I'm genuinely excited for and unfortunately just got pushed back is Joanna Shoop's new book. It's like an Anastasia retelling. But that got pushed back to like August of next year, which makes me so
Damn, that's so long.
I know. It was supposed to come out in January, and it just
Why?
recently I know. All she said in her post was just like,
Writers block?
"Things
Writers?
happen," and I don't know. I don't know. She said something she made it seem like it was kind of partially the publisher. So, I don't know what that's about. Yes, August. I know. I am so sad. Like,
That's like
I've
a
been looking
year.
forward to this book like for a year, I feel like. Like,
That's
please.
crazy.
Yeah. But I literally can't think of like, and I feel like that's it too, is that for the most part, like pretty much all of the good authors aren't publishing anymore. Like, when has Lisa Kleypas written something? Tessa Dare, I think she's still dealing with like illness and like things like that. Like, she's
Well,
not
Tessa
writing.
Dare's ill. I thought she had writer's block. She's ill.
I think it was a little of both. I
Oh, she's
think, yeah, I think it was like, yeah, I think it was both. But so I don't know if like that book is ever going to get published. The fourth book in her Girl Meets Duke series, which makes me so sad, like so sad. Yeah, right, exactly. Kate Bateman is like literally the only
yeah.
Kate Bateman I look forward to. And then who else? Like, I did recently read a book by Scarlett Peckham and I really liked The Mistress Experience. I liked that one. But like Kate Bateman pretty much is like the only author that I look forward to. Because with Lorraine Heath, Lorraine Heath, I like keep putting off reading her new stuff until I get caught up on her old stuff. And I keep putting off like getting caught with her old stuff. So I don't know when I'm gonna read her new stuff, but yeah.
Her new stuff is also sometimes very plot driven too, as well. Like there's a mystery. Like they're like investigators. So it's like, all right, I get it, but like let's pick it up. So yeah.
This is a really good point because somebody had brought up, I think someone did an interview with Lorraine Heath.
Mm.
And Lorraine Heath has been writing since the early 90s. Like, I want to say like 1990. Like, she's been writing for a long time. And she said that Avon, which is her publisher, like only wants this, like just like upper echelon London historical romance. They want nothing else. And I agree with you that some of my favorite historical romances are more gritty. They're a bit darker. And you're just not, well, Lorraine Heath, you'll get darker themes, but like, we're not really getting into the nitty gritty anymore with historical romances. And I do think maybe part of that is because of Bridgerton. And Bridgerton is only focusing on like the upper echelon, and that's what maybe the publishers are pushing for, are books that give Bridgerton vibes. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. I still haven't finished her backlist because I kind of refuse to read like her really early stuff because I read one of them and I really didn't enjoy it. So I really only love like her Avon stuff. Anything before Avon is like not my favorite.
Oh my god, because it was about horses, right? Like her first 3 books.
It was about yes, it was about horses. Yeah. I never got into Eloisa James, unfortunately. I've tried to read a few of her books. One of them I did finish, the other like 2 or 3 I DNF'd. For some reason, she just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, her books are hit or misses.
Yeah. Joanna Shoup released that novella, but that was indie. And I am really excited to read that one. I actually just brought that novella up to Lisa right before we went live because I was like, ooh, I'm like dying to read this novella because it's Joanna Shoup, like it's going to be a good time. But she has
like a huge series that you have to like read before you read her new series.
Yeah, I guess. Because I read that whole Maiden Lane series, and then I've read 1 or 2 of her more recent books, and I did not like them all that much. Her Maiden Lane series is really great. Yeah. And I have not been a fan of her recent releases. So I guess she's kind of hit or miss for me too. Yeah.
I just think like it's not Avon who's publishing anymore. Like we're the really like top tier historical romance authors that we really like are publishing. I think it's more like Forever Romance and like St. Martin's Press.
St. Martin's is the publisher for Kate Bateman.
Yeah.
Forever, you're right. Forever has been publishing. I've heard great things about her new one, Viscount in Love. Oh, I do like Julianne Long. I really do like her Palace of Rogue series. She recently came out with a book.
Yeah, I saw it today in the stores. It's so pretty.
Those
I don't know
her
what it's
covers
called.
are really, really pretty. I
Yeah.
do like that series. Me personally, I actually loved the earlier books in the series more than the books that are recently coming out in that series, but that's just me. But I do like, she gives me slight Tessa Dare vibes. I do really enjoy her stuff.
What I liked about our book club was that it forced me to read. That's it. One, it forced me to read. It's been a long time since I read. Two, it forced me to read historical romance, which has also been a very long time for me to read. So I appreciate this book club for it.
I've definitely been stepping away from historical too, and it makes me so sad because like we both love historical romance, you know, but I feel like just where maybe just because of where the industry is going. I mean, for instance, I have the book right here. The fact that Avon published this, like they're trying to jump onto the bandwagon of the fantasy romance,
Mm.
you know, and it just like makes me sad to see when the reality is if fantasy romance readers read historical romance, I think they'd love it. Like they, you know, those two genres give me similar vibes.
You know what's annoying is that a lot of these historical romances that have been published like in the earlier years, like not right now, they don't have audiobooks. So it just cuts
Yes,
out a
that.
whole entire audience of people. Like when I look at my shelves, I'm like, well, I want to fucking read these, but then I'm also like, when do I find the time to sit down and cafe hop 4 cafes to go read one book? Like I can't do that every weekend. I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah.
I want to walk around and listen to an audiobook. It's not accessible. You're cutting out a whole audience.
No,
Okay.
you're right. You're right.
People who
Absolutely.
like people who literally cannot focus on books and rely on audiobooks because of certain illnesses that they have or some mental disability that they might have. I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. That's what sucks about Teresa Medeiros. Like literally only
All her books. Yeah.
one of her books has an audiobook. That is it that I have been able to find.
Yeah.
And you're right, a lot of the older ones don't have audiobooks, but some of them do randomly. But really for me, it's like there is a huge backlist of historical romances that were written between like 2010 and now that I
Yeah.
still have not read that do have audiobooks. So it's like I just need to go into the backlist and not worry so much about what's coming out now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's either that or like the devices that we use get better and they can read the text from
I do use my
Alexa.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
to
But
read ebooks. Yeah.
when you borrow them from the library, can you still read it? Like, does Libby do that, or like does Script do that?
Yes, because at least the Libby here, you can import your books to your Kindle, to the Kindle app. And then
Yeah.
anything that's on the Kindle app can be read by Alexa.
Okay, I have a Kobo, but I have the new Kobo.
There's
So
got
maybe
to
I
be
can do
something similar for Kobo. Like there has to be.
Okay, if once it's gonna be a game changer. You guys will be never hear the end of me if I can get this shit to read my shit. I am back and alive, baby.
Wait, how do you like? Is that the color Kobo?
Yeah, it's the
How do you
color.
like it?
I love it. Look
Because
how
I've been
beautiful it
hearing
is.
kind of like poo-poo things about the new Kindle color thing.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
this was free. I got this for free, guys. Yeah, PR, baby. I would never buy this by
Oh, does it
myself,
have the
but
buttons? The
it
little
has the
buttons?
buttons. I use the buttons, baby. I can use the
Oh,
tap
cute.
feature too. But yeah, it's great. I like it moves fast. So in Canada we use Kobo with Libby. So I borrowed the
Oh,
book.
yeah, we use Kindle with Libby.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
also
we
have the Kindle. I bought a Kindle too as well. I said fuck it. It's like Prime Day or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only time I buy a Kindle is when it's Prime Day. Yeah. Mhm.
All right, continue your thought while I go look for a Kindle.
What was I saying?
Yeah, I bought a Kindle too as well. So now
But
I have a
yeah,
Kindle and a
I've
Kindle.
heard some kind of like not great thoughts about the new Kindle Color Soft, which makes me sad
Because you wanted that one.
because I do eventually want to get a color e-reader. I think
Yeah.
maybe the technology just needs to get better. I don't know.
What's wrong with the Kindle Color?
I heard that well apparently this issue that I'm about to bring up should be fixed within the next few days because Amazon's going to do an update. But like I've heard from several people that there's this weird like yellow line at the bottom
Yeah.
of the screen. Don't know what that's about, but that's supposed to get fixed in the next few days. And then something about just maybe how the colors look isn't like as good as they thought it would have been.
Yeah,
Though
color's not
the Kindle has like two settings. Like you can either do like normal or like vivid colors.
great. Mm.
So that's probably for battery life, to save battery life if you wanted to. But yeah, I think what it is that right now it costs about $300.
Yeah.
And people are just like, I'm not sure that it's worth the $300. So I think I'm gonna wait until there's like an update or something.
And you also need to wait for a good sale because I would never buy something full
Hmm,
price for $300. I'm sorry. It's
$300
not
for an
that serious.
e-reader?
Yeah, it's not that serious. If it was like that, then I would just buy, like, an iPad or something. I know it's different,
Exactly.
but, like,
Exactly.
if I'm getting an e-reader for, like, a fraction of the price of an iPad, I'm gonna be, like, seriously considering myself. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very real. So yeah, I personally love my Paperwhite. I've
Mhm.
been using my Paperwhite for like probably 2 years now, and I love it. So I don't really feel the need to go out and get the next best thing right now. But yeah,
I bought the Paperwhite too as well this year. It's very fast. It's just
it is really fast.
I
Yeah.
love it so much. I bought the
Mhm.
Kindle because I have Kindle Unlimited and I really want to continue reading Kindle Unlimited, and I can't do that with Kobo, obviously.
And that's what sucks about having,
Do
about having
subscription.
a non-Kindle device, is that like I wouldn't be able to access my Kindle Unlimited stuff.
Yeah, like if I wanted to use the library for Kobo, I mean, if I wanted to use the library Libby, then I would have to use the Kobo, and then when I wanna do Kindle Unlimited, I have to use the Kindle. So
Yeah,
I'm
that
like
stinks.
I'm alternating between 2 devices
Right,
because of Canada and its programs that they have. So
right. Yeah. So you were saying that like you haven't really read much recently?
oh, yeah, no, I haven't. Okay, wait, actually, I finished 2 books in the last week, so that's, like,
That's
really
pretty
good.
good.
That's good for me, but that's slow in past life me.
That same for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gotten to a point where like I'm lucky if I can finish 2 books a week. But yeah, definitely a couple years back, I was reading like probably 3 or 4 books a week. Um, yeah, that's what sucks about having a full-time job.
I'm trying not yeah, like, exactly, we try not to beat ourselves up for it, but we, like, mourn the loss of, like okay, because I'm kinda thinking just get Samsung tablets we
Oh,
don't have.
Samsung.
Oh, wait, a Samsung tablet? Is that the same as an iPad? Is that, like,
Yeah,
the
it's yeah, it's a tablet. It's like an iPad. Yeah.
okay? Because
That's the
I
only thing
have
that stinks, is that like my eyes hurt when I read on my iPad. Like
it's
no matter,
huge. This
yeah.
is a Samsung tablet. I have this. To
Oh, okay.
I don't have an iPad, I just use this to watch TV and, like, Netflix and shit.
Yeah, you don't need
But
an
it's huge.
iPad.
I tried reading on Kindle on this one time in the airport, but it was just, like, silly because it's just, like, so big. So I just
It's so huge, and like no matter what light setting I put my iPad on, like if I really turn the brightness down, I still feel like my eyes hurt after like
yeah.
only a few minutes of reading on an iPad. So like I definitely will never steer away from an e-reader. Like
It also
definitely
just feels good to disconnect from everything and just only focus on reading with the
yes.
e-reader.
See, that's it too, is that I would absolutely get distracted trying to read on my iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing about like, all my audiobooks are on my phone, but I get distracted sometimes seeing like notifications pop up when I'm trying to listen to my audiobook. The
Yep. Alright, so
struggle.
tell us about what has been keeping you busy. I wanna know as well.
I just got done last week with a show. I was in a production of Little Shop of Horrors. Um, our last performance was last Sunday. And then this weekend, I'm also busy because yesterday I performed in a concert of operatic repertoire. And then tomorrow we're doing another concert of the same rep, just at a different venue. So that's kept me busy. And then November and December is going to be busy for me because November, my best friend is getting married in a couple of weeks. So we
Damn.
have some like events for that,
Yeah.
plus the actual wedding. Then what else? Oh, I have a couple of other like performing gigs in November.
Yeah.
And then early December, I'm taking a trip with my mom to Universal and Disney in Orlando.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Ooh. That's gonna be nice because like the
Yeah.
winter sucks and being in warm weather is nice in
And
Florida.
it's like nice and breezy in early December in
I
Orlando. So
like
that's
that.
like nice. It's never gonna get cold at that time, but
How
it's
many
nice.
shows did you do for your the sorry, did you say tiny book of horrors? Horrors?
Little shop of
Little
horrors.
show little shop of horrors.
Um,
How many
yeah,
shows did you do?
we did 7 performances.
That's so much.
That is a lot of perform
No,
because
no.
we did 5 performances in one weekend, and we did
Mm.
2 performances the next weekend. So, one of those days was a 2-show day,
Mhm.
which sucks, but doing 2 shows in one day, like, I don't know
You're
how these
tired.
Broadway actors do it
Yeah.
weekly, you know, because on Broadway, you have Wednesdays and Saturdays tend to be 2-show days. So, I mean, with Broadway shows though, they have understudies, they have swings, they have, they have people that can like fill in so that not everybody is doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's crazy. It's yeah, 2
You're,
shows.
like, physically tired, right? And you're, like, mentally drained too as
Oh
well
yeah.
'cause you're just
I'm
kind of going through the
definitely like delirious
motions.
after doing 2 shows in one day. Like that definitely is a lot for sure.
Was this, with your company that you're working with right now, or did you audition with a different company and then you, like, got it? Because like, the company that you're doing doesn't do shows?
So I work for a performing arts studio who caters to like children and teens.
Yeah.
So that's my day job, my
Yeah.
day and night job, because some nights I teach classes, but during the day I'm always doing admin.
Yeah.
Then this show was with a community theater
Mhm.
that we actually partner with
Oh,
a
okay.
lot. So I just decided to audition. I've done shows with this company before, but not since I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long time, yeah, because I'm now 31, almost 32. So yeah, it had been a long time, but I have been auditioning for a lot of stuff recently, and like there's not a lot going on at like the other theaters in our area, like in terms of like shows and characters that would be good for me. And so when this came up, not that this was a perfect role for me either, but given that it was community theater, I was like, hey, it's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
I haven't had fun in a show in like a long time because usually I'm doing paid things and it's not as fun when it's paid.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? Let's just do some community theater. Let's just have a good time, meet some good people, and that's what I did. Like we really bonded as a cast, and that was really fun.
So
Um,
this is not paid, and this was, like, volunteer, and you just put
Yeah,
on
because it's
a
community theater, so it's volunteer. Everybody
show? Okay.
volunteers. Yeah.
And then the money goes towards, like, the community center?
Yes. So like any profits that they make from ticket sales, because this company is a nonprofit
Yeah.
organization, is going towards like funding for like their next show,
Mm.
keeping up the facility, things like that. So
I like
mhm.
that. That's fun.
Yeah, we had
It's a
fun.
resume builder too as well, an
It
experience
is.
builder.
It is. And for me, I found that like as long as I can do one show a year, I like feel sane. When
Yeah.
I go too long without being in a show, I get like kind of depressed and just like antsy in a way and just like kind of the need to be in a show, like for sure. And that's what it had been just about a year since I had been in a show. And so when this audition came up, I was like, you know what? I'll just audition and see what happens. And it ended up being a fun time. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. You're going to be busy too in the next couple months.
Oh, well, it's, I'm entering into my busy season, so I'll be, like, trying to stay sane, and then my friends are, like, all on vacation right now, and then so my family wants to go on vacation too, so there's gonna be a lot of planning for that. We're gonna try to squeeze it in for the end of the year, but I don't know if it's actually gonna happen, and then, I'm sure there's gonna be, like, a lot of random things that'll pop up. once my friends come back from their vacation. Lots of birthdays and Christmas
Yeah.
celebrations.
Yeah, the holidays always get so crazy, and they get crazy, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's, like, no transition. It's just all of a sudden, November and December is just so
Everybody wants to squeeze in some time to, like,
Yes.
just do something.
That
It's
is
either,
so
like, me doing it or that, like, somebody else is doing it, and then suddenly we're all doing it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, holiday parties at work and things like that too as well. I mean, I only have
Yes.
one, but, like
Yeah, I'll have one too towards the end of the month, end of, December. Finance analyst, so from now until Christmas, yeah?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I bet it's a very busy time. Jeez. But I think that's pretty much it for this live show. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else to discuss. I think
So,
overall
Joanna Shoop's, book that you were talking to me about
Yes.
prior to the show, that's a novella?
It's a novella. Mhm.
I do like me some
I
novellas.
know, and I love Joanna Shupe so much. I was actually thinking because you had brought up that like you're getting really busy. I was thinking, what if we like read the Joanna Shupe in November, read a Christmas novella in December, and then just did a live show in December about both novellas,
Yeah.
or like early January, like whenever.
Early January, yes, because I think in December, I don't know what my family is doing with their
Yeah.
vacation schedule. I don't know where I am
Well, I
going.
think that might be the plan. I say we like read one in November, read one in December. We just have to decide what
Christmas one we need to read.
I will say Scarlett Scott recently announced a Christmas romance that's coming out, and that sounds really good. And I really
Nice.
like the books. But anyways.
We'll think about it offline, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm so much more excited about like indie historical romance than traditionally published. Because this novella is indie because she actually wrote it for an anthology that never happened. Like it was supposed to happen and then it didn't. And so she released it just on her own. And then yeah, I'm excited about some more from Scarlett Scott. I need to read more from Elisa Braden. Have you read anything from her?
I don't know who she is.
She wrote.
Oh, Elisa Braden. Never mind. I do know her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to. There's a lot of like indie authors that I need to get into for sure. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for this live show. Lisa and I are going to talk off camera about when a live show would happen. But I definitely like the idea of reading 2 novellas, and then we could discuss both of them at the next live show. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for, being in the comments, having a conversation with us. It's always more fun and interesting when we can actually talk with you guys as opposed to just with each other. But yeah, I hope that everybody has a great rest of their night. Bye. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
And we'll see you guys in the next live show. Bye.